Hello, it is Millerboy here. So today guys, I'm going to be showing you how to make your own quest for Skyrim using the creation kit. So this tutorial might actually come in a few parts because making quests in the creation kit is actually a fairly big topic. If you're wondering why, in the creation kit, quests aren't only used to make, quests. They're also used for all the dialogue that NPCs say, and they're also used for certain events such as scenes, etc. So, of course, we're going to be purely making a quest, like a storyline quest, but I may be going into some other things that may not be directly necessary, but they will help you in the general category of quests in the creation kit in the future. Anyhow, let's get started. So remember guys, first thing you always do, file data, make sure you got that nice little X and click OK. I've already done this, so I'm going to click cancel. Now the first thing we want to do is expand the character category and go down to quest. Now here we have a big list of all the quests in the game. Now as I said before, not all of these are just storyline quests. Here we have bard songs. So this is basically just contains all the songs for the bard. So when you go up to them in the game and say, can you play, etc, etc, it gets all the dialogue for their song from this quest. There's also achievements quest, as you can see up here, and this will be an event quest. So once you meet a certain condition, it will set the event of you getting that achievement. So that's basically what they are. Now we're making a storyline quest and we're making a new one. So what we're going to go and do is anywhere in here, doesn't matter where, we want to right click and click new. Now you should get a little window like this. Now there should be some things you recognize like ID. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Want to give an ID so you know what to do here. I always start mine off with mod and then something to remember it by. So I'm only going to make one quest, so I'm just going to call it mod quest. And then moving on, you want to do type now in here. So basically what type is, it's the category of your quest. So it's where it appears in your quest log basically. So if we click on this, you have things like companion quests, dark brotherhood, miscellaneous and side quests. Now say I click miscellaneous, it'd go in that little miscellaneous section in your quest log, and they're basically like the easy quests like Margaret wants you to get an apple or something like that. Side quests, they're just like all the other quests in the game, but they're not related to like a guild or they're not in the main quest storyline. So if I wanted, I could click data quests, but it wouldn't make it implemented into that quest line, and we'd still have to do other things to connect it in. It would just basically put it in the category of that. So I advise you just do side quests here. Once you've done that, you want to give it a quest name. Now this is fairly obvious what you want the quest to be called inside the game. So mine's going to be called Billy Bob's Adventure. And if you're wondering why, it's my quest is going to be based around a guy called Billy Bob, and he sends you on an adventure. Now, object window filter, we can leave that blank, we don't need to touch that. But priority, I recommend setting this as 60, and Bethesda recommend that as well. Why? Well, this is priority is basically who goes first. So if you had an NPC, for instance, and one quest was telling the NPC to say hello, and one was telling the NPC to say goodbye, then the quest that had the higher priority would go first. So say the quest that said the quest that had the priority of 100 was the one that told him to say hello, and then the quest that said goodbye had like a priority of like 50. The one with 100, which is the hello one, would make the NPC say hello first, and then it would say goodbye. So that's basically how that works. Sorry if that was a bit confusing, didn't know really how to explain that, but anyhow, I advise just putting it as 60. Now moving on, like I said before, quests can also be used for events, so this is what this little section is also used for. So you've got things like bribe, craft item, dead body, escape jail, etc. There's a few things in there, but I'm not going into much detail about this right now. So leave that as none. Now, the only tick boxes you want ticked here is start game enabled. This basically just tells the game to load the quest up. Don't worry, this doesn't start the quest straight away as soon as you start the game. This is basically, for instance, if I didn't have this ticked and I went to the NPC who was supposed to give me my quest, then he wouldn't have any dialogue options because all the dialogue is in this quest, and basically, because we've not loaded the quest up, then he won't have the dialogue. So make sure you have this ticked when you're making a quest. Now, moving down, conditions, you all know about conditions, it's what needs to be met for this, quest to be doable. So I could put something like, you have to be an elf to do the quest, or the player has to be, say it's a hard quest, he has to be over level 30 to do the quest, something like that. So you can have fun there, but I normally just keep this blank unless I need to change it. Now, I know you want to rush into this, and make a quick quest, and go over to the quest stages tab now and do the rest. Well, the first thing we need to do is actually close this by clicking OK and then open it again. The reason for that is right now we have 5 tabs at the top. Once we close it by clicking OK and then open it again, we'll have some more tabs. So let's do that. So once you've done this first page, you want to go down and click OK. Then you want to go find it again, so I'll just filter it out with my ID I gave it earlier. And now, as you see, the tabs at the top, we have a lot more. So we've already filled this first section in, so we want to go over to the next tab, Quest Stages now. Now, if you don't know what quest stages are, it's basically, well, think of it like, if you split your quest into sections, then the sections would be the stages. So, the first stage, this will basically be our pre-quest stage. So what that means is, this is before we've talked to the NPC, interacting with him before. This is before, we've got the quest from him. It's basically, when you start the game and you've never heard about this quest, etc. This is basically before you started the quest. So that's the first stage. The second stage is, we've talked to the guy and we've accepted the quest off him. And the objective is set to, well, whatever he asked us to do, like kill the bad guy. The third objective is, the third stage is that we've killed the bad guy, and now we need to go back to the NPC and get our reward. And then the fourth stage would be, we've gone back to our NPC, collected the reward, and the quest is finished. So that's basically what stages are. If that was a bit confusing, I'm sorry, but I didn't know how else to explain it. Again, so right click here now and click New. This first one, it will say 0, and you can happily leave it as 0 because this is our pre-stage quest that I was just talking about. So with 0, we don't need to do anything at all. So just make sure you have it, but we don't need to do anything with it. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to right click, click New, and now in here, instead of having 0 or 1 for the next one or 2, whatever, we want to have 10. Now why 10? Well, it's recommended to do this because say later on you want to add another stage between like 0 and the next one, then you would have to move them all up. So if say you had 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and you wanted to put one between 0 and 1, you couldn't just put it as a decimal. You'd have to move 1 up to 2, and then you'd have to move the one that was 2 up to 3, and then move the etc. like that. So it's easier just to do it in increments of 10 or whatever you want, so you have space to put something else in afterwards. So make the amount of stages that you need. So I'm going to have a few. So 0, which is the pre-quest stage before we've talked to the NPC. 10 is we've talked to the NPC and our objective is to go and kill the bad guy. 20 is we've killed the bad guy and we have to get a legendary sword off its body. And then the next stage I'm going to make now is that we've got the legendary sword and we need to go back and get our reward. And then the final stage will be we've gone back, got a reward, and the quest is over. So what we want to do now is, we don't want to go into 0 because like I said before, once we've made 0 we don't need to touch it. We want to go into 10 as this is once we've accepted the quest. Now here you'll see log entry. So what log basically is when you open your quest log, this is basically the text that pops up. So this in here, it'll be something like, I've accepted the adventure from Billy Bob, I need to go and kill the bad guy. That's what we'll have. So the way we do this is, once we've selected our stage, we want to right click in this section here and click New. And then this will say empty, but it will also unlock these other sections here. So what we need to do now is go into this log entry here and actually fill it in. So I'm going to put Billy Bob has sent me on a adventure, exclamation mark. And as you see, I've actually just made a spelling mistake, but don't worry, because if I click off this, say I click onto the stage 0 or 20, something like that, it'll say, whoa, you've got a spelling mistake. So that's a good feature of the creation kit, so you don't make any silly mistakes when you're making your dialogue. So yep, I definitely spelled it wrong there, so I'm going to click change. So once you've done that, if I go back to 10 now, I just say it's automatically changed in the log entry section here. And the reason that you can have more here is because The log, you could have it so it changed depending on what you've done previously throughout your game. So I could have another log entry here, and then once I've selected that, I could make a condition. So you say you've killed, I don't know, 100 dragons. You could say, Billy Bob has sent me on an adventure because he's heard I was really good at killing dragons. You could do that, or something like that. So you could make your log correspond to things you've done previously in your game. But once you've done that, you actually don't need to do anything else for now, because this is the scripting section here, and we'll come on to that later on in the tutorial. So moving on, just simply do the same for the rest. So this is once 20 is we've killed the what's it called, the enemy or monster. So I killed the bad guy. Now I need his sword or hair. Don't want to be sexist here, but put whatever you want. And then you can move over to 30 now. So a new log entry, and we put something like I got his sword, and then time for my reward. Exclamation mark. Now the last one, we simply do the same. So I'll just put yay for now. But down here, as you see, we have complete quest and fail quest. So if I select complete quest, oops, I've made a mistake. Oh yay, of course that's a word. Oh, I'll change it to byway. No, I don't like that. I'll just put I don't know, what's a good word? I'll just put I got some dosh. I'll just do that. Now here in complete quest and fail quest, if I select complete quest, dosh, what? Oh my god. Okay, ignore, I don't really care. I got some dosh. So if I select complete quest, hopefully this works now. But hey, well, this will basically, once we get to this stage, it'll pop up saying quest completed. So this is the way you trigger the quest being completed. Now it also unlocks this little drop down menu here that says next quest. So this is, for instance, say once we completed our quest, we wanted it to start another one. So we had like a big link of quests. We could do that. So once you completed this quest, it could start the next quest. That would be, and now you need to go and get a sword again. I know, something like that. So we could choose our quest here. And it would automatically start this once we get to the last stage, but we're not going to do that because we've only made one. So you can click complete quest on the last stage, but if I just untick this briefly, you also have this fail quest here. So we may add this later on, but we're not going to do this right now. This is basically, say we made another stage and we could set it so if we killed Billy Bob, it would set it to this stage, and we'd have fail quest ticked, so it'd say quest failed because we can't give the sword back if he's dead, can we? So that's basically what that is. But we might do that later, we might not. But make sure you got a complete quest selected on the last one. Once you've done that, that's basically all it is now for quest stages. Now before you move on, we need to actually go and make our NPCs. So we need to make Billy Bob, we need to go and make our enemy, and then we also need to go and make our legendary sword that we're going to have, that the enemy stole, for instance. So let's do that. So click OK once you've done this section. And now we're going to go and make an NPC. So minimize that, delete that out the filter, and expand actors and click on actor. Oops, click on actor. Now, if you've never made an NPC before, please go and check one of my previous videos called creating an NPC, or I think it might be called making an NPC. And I basically show you how to make an NPC. So please watch that so you don't get a bit confused when you see what I'm doing now. I'm just going to go through this briefly now. So right click new, as we do when we're making an NPC, and we give it an ID. So mod, and then it's going to be called Billy. So mod Billy. Name Billy Bob, and then short name Billy. So he's unique because we're not going to be duplicating him throughout the game. And then choose his race. So I know I'll just give him a Khajiit. I recommend a human race in case you have some problems with voice and dialogue afterwards. Here we go. We've got a nice Khajiit here, naked, but we'll sort that out in a minute. So then you want to change your voice if you want to. Please make sure it's human or something. Well, you don't have to do human if you don't want to, but I just recommend doing something like that. So male, no, let's do male orc on a Khajiit. That'd be nice. Stats, let's just give it level 100. Why not? Auto calc the stats. Yep. Like I said, I'm just going through this quickly, so I'm just going to just do some random things. Very aggressive, foolhardy. Yeah, he's so confident. He can't even. He's too confident to even go and get his own weapon back. Now we can just do inventory and give him some clothes. So let's give him some nice armor. What about, let's give him some dwarven, no helmet. And then click preview again. We're bam. Lovely. Look at that. Now let's just give him a quick weapon. In case, and now we decide to go and kill him. We need to at least let him put up a fight. So if I just go down a little bit. Enchanted. There we go. Let's do that one. And click preview again. And there we go. He's got it on his back now. Lovely. So once you've done that, obviously you can change this a bit more. Like we can go to his character gem parts, change his hair color or whatever, face color, change his brow height, etc. You can mess with that, but like I said, I'm just going to rush through this quickly. So once you've made Billy Bob or whatever you've called it, click OK. Now what we need to do now is make our enemy. So right click again in here and click new. Now when we're making the enemy, everything is the same except for a small little part in the section in a minute. So give it an ID like normal. So mod enemy, then give it a name. So you know my enemy, he's going to be badass. So I'm thinking of calling it badass. Oh yeah. And the short name, yes, you guessed it. I'm just going to put ass. Unique, yes. And now, before you go and change its race, etc., what we're actually going to go and do is go down to template data and give it an actor base. Now, I'll show you what this is now. First of all, let me just show you. So, level, there we go. So, what these little templates are that have a level prefix, sorry about that, a level prefix, can't get the words out, level prefix, this basically means they're a leveled character. So if I put this NPC into the game, his level will change according to the player's level. So if I have a level 30 player, this character would change accordingly to a higher level or lower level, depending on the difficulty we also set this NPC at. So if we had a player at level 30 and we had this NPC as hard, then it'd be something like level 50, for instance, something like that. I don't know exactly, but you know, something a bit higher. If we had it as the player was 30, but the difficulty of the NPC was easy, then the NPC would be something like 20, for example. So you choose an actor base in here. So choose something like a bandit, I recommend. But you can have a look what you want in here. So I'm going to do leveled bandit boss. Now, what we want to do is tick all of these now, because we want to. This basically tells this NPC to use all the traits, all the AI data, all the inventory from the leveled bandit boss. Now we want to use all of these though, except for scripts and base data. So stats, tag data, and keywords. So let that just do. Oops, let that just do that. And now the reason we don't want script and use base data ticked is because we're going to change them ourselves. So we're going to add some scripts later, and the base data will change. So make sure you just got them two unticked. Now our name stayed the same. Good, that's good, because I was worried about that changing to like a default one, but it doesn't matter. So once you've done that, you can click OK. And now we've now made our enemy, and we've now made our Billy Bob, or whatever you called your NPC. So let's go and put them into the game. So the way we do that is we just find somewhere to put it. So I like Riverwood. I don't know why. I always put my NPCs in Riverwood. I actually always put them in the Sleeping Giant Inn. So if we actually went into my game now, we'd have about 50 NPCs in here because of all the things I've been experimenting with. But so now go into your filter. You know, filter your actor out. There we go. There's Billy. Let's drag and drop him in. Easy as. There we go. Lovely. Turn him around. Lovely. So if we went in the game now, we'd be walking around, sitting down, etc. May go hello if we walk past him. But if we try to talk to him, it won't work because we've not set any dialogue up and he's not related to our quest yet. But once you've put Billy in there, you want to go and find somewhere to put your enemy. Now, I've not found a great location yet, but I recommend a cave, as the way we've made our enemy, we've based him off a bandit, so he's going to be aggressive to everyone, so he's going to just attack anyone on sight. So what we want to go and do, I'm just going to find somewhere where I know there's not many people, and that's my house, right run, breeze home. Oops, there we go, White Run, breeze home, there we go. So I've only got my house call in there, so remember, if you ever get an error, guys, yes to all, like always. And there we go, there's breeze home. So what you do is you simply just go and drag them in like you did with Billy. So select your enemy and drag and drop. Now as soon as you see this, yes, this big M, you're like, whoa, 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 what have I done wrong? Why is it a big M? Well, the reason for that is because we've chosen a template, it's going to be random. So, you know, when you start the game up, it'll be different for everyone who uses your mod. So one person could have a Khajiit bandit, one could have, like, I don't know, a human bandit, or an elf or something, or whatever, and they'll look a bit different, etc., and have different clothes and weapons, etc. So that's why it can't actually render the NPC in this in the render window, because what it looks like is only decided when you start the game up. Sorry if I blabbered on a bit there and got you confused, but it's not been decided what the NPC has been look like yet, so it can't actually show you. So it's also green, and you're probably wondering, why is it green? Well, that's the difficulty. And you're probably wondering, well, I don't want it to be green because that's easy, isn't it? And you're right, that is easy. And the way we change this is we select it and double click, and then you open this reference window, and you have a little tab now that says leveled actor. So if you click on that, you have something that says level modifier now. So if we expand that, we have easy, medium, hard, very hard, and none. So you want to click either easy or medium, hard, or very hard. So, you know, if I click very hard now, it'll change to red. And I can do medium, and that'll be yellow. And then hard is just orange. So I'm going to leave mine as hard, because I don't want to be too hard, but, you know, I don't want it to be too easy. So I'll just go with hard. So, you know, once you've selected that, you've got your NPCs in the game now, you've got your enemy in the game now, you're ready to connect it all. But whoa, 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 we've not made our legendary sword. So let's go and do that right now. So delete out the filter again, de-expand the actors category. Don't know the word for de-expand. Is it de-expand? And no, whatever. But once you've done that, you want to go over to items, expand that, and go right down to the bottom and click on weapon, because we're going to be making a legendary sword. Now, what I recommend to do here, I've actually not made a tutorial making your own items or weapons yet, so I recommend just following me briefly and seeing what I do now. But hopefully I will have a tutorial on later on that shows you this in more in depth, how to make a weapon, etc. So we're not going to be making new textures now or anything. We're just going to be using a normal texture. We'll just be changing like the stats, so make it more powerful, change the name, etc. So find one that looks like the sword you want. So I'm going to go with a Daedric Greatsword. So what we're going to do is right click it and click duplicate. Once you've done that, you should have a copy. So we want to double click to open that. And you should have a window similar to mine. So change the ID first of all. So I'm going to do my mod, and then it's called the Legendary Sword, so I'm going to call it Legend. There we go. Now the name, so this is the name it pops up as in the game. So Legendary Sword. Wonderful. Enchanting, so I think it's going to have an enchantment, let's see. Enchantment, and it's going to have, let's see, weapon, is there a fire somewhere? Weapon, fire damage, here we go, 6. And the enchantment, I believe this is the power, I don't know. Just put that as whatever, 100. Value, let's just give that something like loads of money. That's how much it's worth, because it's an amazing sword. Weight, yeah, it's badass, so it's going to be 0 weight, but it's going to have loads of damage, so look at that, lovely. Actually, I think we'll go with one more there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, you can change some of these other things if you want, like speed, etc. Actually, I think I'll change the speed to, like, I don't know, 1. Why not? So you have a mess with that if you want, but for now, I recommend just following what I've done. Make sure playable is ticked. Leave everything else how it is, and then once you've done that, you can click OK. Now, my OK button is not on my screen, because mine is just below, as you can see there. right at the bottom of my screen. It's just under the taskbar. So I'm just going to keep pressing tab until I think I've selected the OK button. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I selected it. So it's asking us once you clicked OK, because your OK button probably won't be hidden by the taskbar. Mine's just a bit of a pain because of my resolution, etc. But once you clicked OK, it'll ask you if you want to create a new form. Click No, and then it'll say, "Are you sure?" And well, yes, we're sure because we clicked No. So once you've done that, you've now made your weapon. Now we're not going to actually add the weapon yet because that's something to do within the quest. And there's actually a lot more things to do with our quest now, guys. So I can't fit it all into this first very part of our questing tutorial. So that's what we're going to do in our second part, and we're going to do the dialogue and a bit of scripting, etc. So thanks for watching part 1 of making a quest for Skyrim in the creation kit, and I will see you next time in part 2. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.